Uh, but yeah, I mean, as far as her's concerned, she's just been amazing all her life. Like I said, that's one of the things that I cannot understand why she never complained about anything. And I'll tell you a couple of things about her. One time, uh, she got a laugh of her life, I guess. Uh, you know how they used to go to wash the laundry
Hmm.
to the nearest water well instead of carrying the water to their house, you know, and so she'll carry all the pile of clothes uh, after she was done and then carrying the bucket. You know, most people did it, but we were in school that one day, and I got home. I don't know if I ate something in the morning or not, but I got home so hungry, and she was doing the laundry, so she wasn't home. Nobody home by myself. My kids and my brothers, I think they just stayed behind me and play. They were starting playing with their friends and came later. But I just went straight home because I was so hungry. I didn't find nothing to eat. I just grabbed the tortilla being made in the morning, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I just threw them in the place where we lit up the fire in the chimney thingy. It was hardly warm, you know. Nothing could warm the tortilla, just hardly warm. But I just got all the tortillas dust up, you know, from the ceniza that was there, and just ate him like that. And so when my mom was just about coming, she saw me with all this uh, ash on my face, and I said, what were you doing? I was eating. Well, what did you eat? It's like nothing. It's just tortillas. And did you eat them cold? And I said, no, I warmed them up. And she looked, I said, where did you warm them up? It's like, really? You ate them cold, huh? She was just laughing. Oh my God. But yeah, it was just so incredible. I remember another day where this is when my dad was still alive. Uh, I don't know how many we were at the time. Maybe we're seven. So I think we were like four or five. Not everybody had been born yet. Uh, well, we were listening to uh, Bull Rodeo. That was uh, on the radio. It came from Morelia, right? They were having that event over there. But on the radio, my dad liked to listen to that. So we were listening to it, and suddenly my mom says, "Oh my God!" And my dad goes, "What?" I said, "Ahora es el cumpleaños de mi hijo," and I was sitting right there, you know. That's really cumpleaños. And then my dad pulls out some change of his pocket and soda. Uh, and then my mom looks at him and is like, one soda, okay. So I was so happy to get a change and ran to get my soda at the nearest store. I don't know if you were, you know, where the store from my mom's house going up, further up,
Yeah.
Carmela's
Yeah.
store is called. Yeah, she's actually my madrina. Anyway, I went to buy my soda, and here I'm all happy with my soda. You know, hey, my birthday, I got a soda. And I got home, and then my mom says, "Well, you gotta share it with your brothers." Oh my God, that kind of, you know, got the air out of my happiness. You know, I got a soda for my birthday night. I share it. I should have drank it right there, man. I said, okay, well, I have to share with the soda with the brothers and sisters. But that was something so amazing. So it's like she wasn't just, you know, thinking of just one, you know, person. She was always thinking of everybody, no matter what. And yeah, just incredible, incredible uh, woman, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how she found the strength and the time because uh, a couple of times that I remember, you know, I could see, you know, she was tired, and then she will sit down and take a break. And then after all her chores, you know, not cooking for us and keeping the house nice and clean. She always had the house clean. And then she found the time to go to my grandma's house, and I said, "Oh, I got I need to go down and help my mom. It's just after she got to do all her chores and everything else. And I said, well, and like I said back then, you don't think much of it, but now when you look at it, it's like, whoa, that was incredible. Uh, I really love when we were working with my dad, preparing the farm to grow our corn and everything. And you just knew, I mean, instantly that when it was about time for lunch, even though you didn't have a watch or anything, we were working. And our farm where we worked, I don't know if you ever went up there, but it's like up in a little uh, hill, hill
Yeah.
or mountain. So you could see uh, the women that, for some, we carry our own lunch at times, but other times the mom says, "Oh, I'll cook something and I'll take it to you, nice and warm," So you just knew by looking at the sun, oh, it's almost time to, have a nice warm lunch from mom. So it was just one of those things you instantly look to that spot where she will come through there. She will come through, and I kept looking, and my dad will say, "Let's go," and I said, "Well, I'm looking at my mom, she's just coming," and but she was just, you know, totally amazing, and whenever she uh, took cooked lunch and took for us to where we were working in the farm. Sometimes she stayed there and help us out. And I remember one time too, my dad for some reason he wanted to finish that particular area where we were working. He says, "Let's go," and start working. And then he asked me, I don't know why he asked me. He says, "Hey, how far do you think we can, make it today?" And I said, "Well, I told him spot that there was a tree or something." And my mom says, "Really? I wanted to stay and help you guys out, but that's too much." And my dad just laughed. And he says, "Well, he said it. Let's do it." My mom is like, almost wanted to change her mind. And he says, "Look, what happened?" But it was, I mean, amazing, amazing. And another time I remember, I got home from school, and sometimes you just are tired in school too. You don't get enough sleep or whatever. And I remember that time I got home from school and I just threw my books. I didn't put them in the right place. I just threw them on my bed and went straight to my bed and wanted to take a nap. And my mom said, "Oh, we need to put up a rock fence, because the animals keep coming and getting in our place. We want to have some kind of barrier for the animals so they won't cross our property." And I said, "Okay." But I just threw my books on the bed and just they went on to, with the idea of taking a nap. And I don't know how long I was on that nap, but it must have been a good little while. And then my sister comes and gets me and says, "Hey, we're waiting for you." They already had done, a lot. I mean, it's like, really, my sister and my mom? How do you do that? And I say, "Yeah, because with your help, right?" It's like, "Oh, sorry." But, just never really stopped, man. And I kind of, now I look at kids and like say, "Geez, you guys are incredibly amazing in a way that back then you would not dream of things like you guys do here." But it's a different world, of course. But yeah, I mean, she was hard working person, and I guess that's one of the problems that kind of got her down more so than the disease that she's got now. Because after she twisted her ankle, uh, she might have gone a little depressed because she could not do what she wanted or needed to do. She was still working, and I mean, I'm talking about working where you get paid, right? And I don't know if she where she was working at the time, but she went to Mexico and then stayed there a few days. And we had heard the news. Hey, my mom got her ankle twisted. And it got so bad it stayed there for a while before she came back here with us. But that kind of derailed her dreams, I guess, in a way. So that alone kind of set everything else for her, and she wasn't the same after that. And now then the problems that she's got now then start to become a little more severe, kind of progressing as time went by. But uh, yeah, but anyways, I just think that things happen for a reason. And when I think of the Lord, it's like this is uh, when you're alive and you're here and you're suffering for any reason. This is kind of our ticket to heaven, because if you take your suffering and embrace it in a good way, that's what the Lord wants. I come to understand that part too, because all you got to do is look at the cross and say, hey, look at me. Uh, Now that I'm reading these books that I'm telling you about, I understand a lot of things, way more than some people, because, like I said, his divinity and his human life was two different things. And when I hear people praying and asking, and others are praying, asking, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? Why me? Why me? It's like that's not a prayer. It could be part of a prayer, but it's not. Because if you're calling yourself Christian, Christian means follower of Jesus, right? And you ought to embrace whatever he allows in your life. And so I heard a doctor saying one time, when you pray, you're asking for mercy. That's fine, but all you gotta do is look at the cross and think yourself. Imagine him saying to you, what more mercy do you want? Look at me, look at the cross. What more mercy are you asking for? I gave it all to you. I did all for you. And so we have to kind of maybe change that mentality or that way of praying. I mean, I've done it myself, and I'm working still on it. But it's so good, if you stay faithful to him. So maybe I'm jumping here and there, but it's like he keeps coming to my uh, thoughts, and how can you not appreciate what he's done or he allows, gave you life, gave me life, and it's it's amazing. So now that we're going through this tough times, like I said, it's tougher for some people, but even in a tough times is when you have to remain faithful. That's what he wants. And so for that, I give thanks to him. And my mom, I'm actually ready to go and visit her for a little bit today, because I haven't seen her in the last week or so. But yeah, I just don't have too many words to describe the incredible mom that the Lord gave us. And I thank you for taking the time and thinking about all this, because uh, I actually thought about twice, why hasn't anybody bothered kind of doing what you're doing in El Fresno for our community.
I'm working on it.
Oh, you are?
Well,
Okay.
I wanted to start here, but
Yeah.
eventually that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, because you have this uh, really, really beautiful stories, and I'm pretty sure each and every one of us is one, right? So how the whole place became to to be a community, who started where, and all that stuff. And but yeah, uh, it's great that you're doing it, and I wish a lot more people be interested on it.
I hope
But
so.
at
I
least,
know
at least you're doing it.
I had spoken to Natalia, my Tio Serafin's daughter, a
Uh
long
huh.
time ago, and she wanted to do something like this. I know this Alex and Victor would like to do something also. So, no, Alfonso actually was the one who pushed me to do it because I've been talking about it for so long, and he said, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here at the house. I can help you with Ayami, and everybody's home right now. Do it." So
Yeah.
I hope to get a few more, in this time. But I thank you for taking the time and being open to doing this. I know some people I think would be a little bit more shy. That's why I wanted to start with you. But so thank you very much for taking this time from your day. Um, I think you didn't tell me anything about my grandma that I didn't know. I
Yeah.
when uh, when I talk to my tia and my mom and they tell me how she has gotten to be sometimes very aggressive and yell and say these big words, and I can't imagine her ever being mad or angry for any reason. Um,
Right.
and that's what you have shared with me, but it was very nice to hear your personal memories of the little things, like having
Yeah.
ceniza on your face and picturing her laughing about that. It's very special for me to hear that. Um, and I also thank you because I called you to ask you about my grandma, but whenever I spoke to her after we moved out here, I would speak to her fairly often in the beginning when she was still able to hold the conversation. And I know that she started forgetting people and dates and things, but she always remembered Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
And even this last time when we went in January, we did a quick stop to say hello to her, and she saw me, and I don't think she recognized me, but she got very very happy when she saw Alfonso. And every
Okay.
time we spoke, she would always remember him, and she would always say, "Que tienes tu hombre." And I think it was the fact that maybe she remembered when she was young and the relationship that she had with my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very special to me also to hear you speak about him a little bit and what he was like because I realized that I don't know anything about him. Um, I don't think any of us do as far as the grandkids. I mean, I don't know if you've shared any of your memories with Eric and Nellie, but I know as far as us, we don't really know anything about him. So I thank you for sharing that. Got a
Yeah. Well,
little glimpse
a
of him.
couple. Yeah. Couple of things about my mom. I want to share another quick story about her too. I mean, uh, I oftentimes, when she was developing this disease, right, she was kind of back and forth at times, but she was still having some good times. And one way that I made her laugh was because I remember asking her, "Hey, did you kind of flirt with my dad, or did he did it, or how did you guys come about?" It's like I'm trying to make her laugh, right? And she just looks at me and says, like, "You gonna start again?" And then like, "Yeah, just tell me." And sometimes she'll be a little hesitate to open it, right? And then she'll tell me, "Oh, well, es que me habló," Of course, being from the same community, well, they probably knew each other way more than you would think, maybe. Anyways, and there's this bridge in El Fresno, right, where you go from my grandparents' house, Camila, to let's say the middle of El Fresno. So you had to cross the bridge. But way back, I barely remember when they built a bridge. Before the bridge that's there, it was a flat bridge with just wood throwing across. So you wouldn't dare to go there, when it was raining. It was slippery and it's just pretty dangerous, anyways. And there was I don't know if you ever heard about this song, but it talks about que el puente roto lo llamo yo. Así se llama la canción, right? Que tu cariño que se rajó. And so it's talking about this back then thing. And since that bridge is there, and obviously, if my dad wanted to see her, he had to cross a bridge. So I told her, y mi papá te cantaba esa canción del puente roto, and she'll just laugh and laugh and like, okay, yeah. It's just like, no, but anyways, she kind of gave up. And so, but that was something that I used to do quite often when she started to develop this disease and make her laugh, you know. But yeah, but my dad, he was uh, probably in a way shy a little bit too. He was very, very cool and very strict. He'll tell you uh, one thing, and that was the end of it. He did not want to repeat twice. But he did it in a calm way. Says, "Hey, let's do this or do this," and that's it. I remember a couple of things. One time, he told us, my brother Mayol and me. I don't know how old we were. He told us to go get some food for the horses. El rastrojo, up from where we're in the head of farm. And so we went to play. I don't know. I think it was baseball after school. I went with the other kids and played. And it was almost sunset, and I'm saying, "Oh, gee, I still have to go there." And I was kind of, hesitated to go. Do I go? Do I not go? So I just wrapped my rope around my waist and just start running and went. Uh, I made this little, you know, uh, pile rastrojo. It wasn't much, but at least I got something, and ran home with it. And when my brother showed up, he even showed up later than me because I told him, "Hey, let's go." He says, "No, I'm not going." Really? Well, anyway, I did my part. And so when he showed up, my dad was waiting for him, and I says, "What happened with you? The order I gave you?" Well, he looked at my brother, looked at me, your dad. He says, "Well, he was there playing too." Yeah, but he did what I told him to do, and you didn't. Oh, he got him pretty good that time. And I say, "Hey, I told you to go, and you didn't listen." Uh, but yeah, he was a person of one word. He didn't like to repeat himself. Uh, I remember another time. This is when I was way, way young. I mean, I might have been 5. I just barely remember. Uh, we had a nice horse back then. I think, as a matter of fact, that was the only good horse we ever had. We had others, but just that one good horse. It was raining pretty hard. Actually, we went to a farm, started working, and right about noon, I guess, it started raining pretty good. So we had to stop, what we were doing, and got on the horse, came back home. But he had me covered. We were sitting on the saddle of the horse, and he had me covered, from top to bottom, and we were on the horse, riding the horse, going home. And I got so desperate after a little while, just not being able to see anything. He's just whistling, and he's like, I'm just going about going home. And after a while, I don't know how long we've been riding the horse, raining pretty good. And I repeatedly said, "Are we almost home?" I was just so uncomfortable being covered, and he would just ignore me sometimes. And then I said, "Are we home yet?" And then after a while, I guess he kind of got tired of me asking the same question. He says, "Oh, yeah, we're almost there." So a few minutes went by, and I didn't see home yet. So I asked him again, "Are we home yet?" He says, "No, almost, almost." And I said, "I think we passed home. It's just been so long for me." And he says, "Well, where do you think we are?" Well, being up, from our house, my mom's house, the farm is up north, right? You go north and there's a farm. So we had to come south, and then from our home going towards Villa Morelos, then that's another direction. So when he said, where do you think we are? And I said, oh, pues estamos en La Noria, close to Villa Morelos, or because it seemed so long for me. When I said La Noria, he just laughed and laughed. I'm like, really? Oh, we're almost there. But yeah, just um, he had a tough life as well. He had to be like a slave, when he was growing up because he also grew up without his dad, and so my grandma, his mom, had to, uh, I guess, lease him or whatever the term they use to work for other people just to kind of survive. And he had a tough life too, but he really, I mean, like I said, really never mentioned anything why his childhood or what he went through, but I knew through other sources, through my mom, and uh, but yeah, tell me the stories about how they did things to kind of bring bread to our, you know, I would say table, but it wasn't a table, you know, but he and his friends sometimes went and chopped wood uh, at night because sometimes they were not allowed to do it. So they will walk all the way to where uh, we farm close by, anyways, to chop wood at night and leave it there, hide it for a day or two, and then when that opportunity came, they got on their horse and you know loaded the wood and take it to Villamorelos to sell it over there just to buy the things that were essential back then, tomatoes and what have you. So that's why he had to do it. And some people had to do it, not everybody, but some guys had to do it too. And you know that you admire too, and you think, well, yeah, it was great that as well, because he will never sit down and take things for granted or because I know at least two or three uh, dads that were his age, and in fact, they're part of a family. I don't want to mention names, but they care less. They were drunk, and even you know their wives had to go out and look for them because they didn't show up for one night or two. And so, and I think, wow, what a great difference that is, my dad and them, and being of the same family, So, yeah, but I, him himself, he didn't share much with us as far as his childhood. What I know about him is through my mom, and he was just, incredible person too, great dad. I mean, he will not, you know, share with things with us, but you knew through his actions, he loved us and he wanted the best for us. But unfortunately, things happen. And but having a dad like him, it's a role model even without him saying anything, just by the actions. Um, and like I said, so these guys that I'm referring to, that they were the opposite. And I think of their families and how they came about. And I said, I can see some of their dads in them, and I can see some of my dad on our side too. So it's like, you know, it's great. Uh, Sometimes uh, I had to yell at your dad, and every now and then we get into fights after my dad passed away because my mom would tell us, certain things or do this or go there, and he will refuse, and that was my biggest problem with your dad. It's like, why are you doing this, or why are you not listening? And your dad had a saying. It was funny. The first time he came up with, I don't know where he saw it, but it was interesting and funny to me that I don't know what my mom was telling us to do. One of those days that she's telling us to do things, and he will refuse or say no or just didn't do them. And my mom approached him one time and says, "What's wrong with you? You're not doing what I'm telling you. You should behave like your brothers." She didn't really refer to me, but she just said, "Your brothers. Why don't you behave like your brothers?" And he says, "Look, mom." He raised his hand. He's, "Look, see these fingers? They're not the same, and they're from the same hand." It's like, really? Oh my God. My mom looked at him like, but then she laughed, like, really? And after a while, every time that situation came up, my brother just raised his hand. "Look, mom, there's the fingers." My mom got the message right away, but she, rather than saying anything or, you know, she just laughed. I mean, if it
Yeah.
was somebody else, who would grab her shoe or something and, "Why are you doing this to me?" But anyway, but that's one of the reasons. Well, actually, that was just the main reason why we argue so much with your dad, when we did, because of it. And like, okay, I understand now. But
Babe, can you please give
no,
me
that's
the charger? Babe, please give me the charger. Sorry, my battery's running low. Um,
yeah.
well, now
Anyway, so
I
yeah, that's
understand a little bit more about why I am the way I am.
well, I mean, you have to, realize that everybody's got their own personality and their own reasons for being, you know, when you understand that part, you know, it's so beautiful because that's how the Lord made us. We're not, like any other person. We are, individually, we are special to Him. And when you start, and let's say we're disagreeing on something, even from within the same family, it gives you a perspective to see things from the other side rather than criticizing or arguing. It gives you an opportunity to learn from that person more and get to know the differences and why the differences and grow from it. So that is like a great tool that's there for me to grow, to see things differently. How can I say I'm a patient person if I don't have nobody else to, test my patience? If I'm by myself, I can say it, right? So yeah, I mean, it's like common sense tells you that, but you have to really think about it too, and not just being selfish. Because if you start to think selfish, like, oh, it's me, and like, oh, okay, but yeah, and it's all great. I mean, we have to stay, uh, you know, positive no matter what, and think that this is a short journey here on Earth, and let's make the best of it.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, that's all we can do.